All right, today's problem, you may not want to admit it, but your tank and the room it's in smells like poo, algae, or just like a pet store.
Yeah, so today we've got the top 10 things to get you past this.
This is BRStv Problem Solvers. If your family or your guests at your home are begging you to solve that stinky tank, this video is the solution, starting with number 1.
Solution number 1 is pick up some carbon. Rocks carbon is our preferred stuff here. Just a little bag, even better in a media reactor, but carbon does a lot to pull the not only pigments out of the water, but those stenches, those things that cause smells, can also pull them out of the water. You'll be surprised at how far a little bag of carbon could go.
Low dust, high efficiency carbon like the ROX will get the odor out of the tank. End of story. Yeah. This is the simplest solution. A little filter bag like this one, again, even better in a reactor, but odor will be a thing of the past. Number 2, carbon again, but this time on your tank's fart machine, meaning your protein skimmer. This thing is filled with decaying organic matter, fish turds, the whole thing, and worse yet, it's blowing air past it into your room. It should smell. If it doesn't, your skimmer's probably not working.
Yeah, the answer here is just exactly what we got going on here. Fill a little bag full of carbon and probably a couple cups or a cup, and just put it on the top of your skimmer lid. All of the air typically comes out of the little holes in the lid. That's the only place for the air to escape. And if you have them covered with carbon, bye-bye stink.
This is such a common problem where I don't know why protein skimmers don't actually have a little accessory to make this easier, because you're blowing this past, and if you can't smell it, again, either the skimmer isn't working, or worse yet, you're just accustomed to it.
Number 3 kind of gets away from us every now and then, and that's just cleaning and detailing the sump. I don't know how many times I've pulled equipment out of my sump, and it's just this, flurry of detritus and food, and detritus collects there a lot. And getting rid of that waste and that decaying matter is one way to get rid of that decaying smell also.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where the sump is out of sight and out of mind, but it isn't out of nose. All right, number 4, change your filter socks on time, meaning every few days, because what's happening here is it's collecting all that organic waste, and worse yet, it's actually mixing it in a high oxygen environment where it's rotting really fast. This is where so much of the odor actually comes from, and often that green, pet store smell that comes out of it. So filter socks, changing those out is actually one of the most important steps to getting rid of it if you're not going to do anything else.
Number 5, if you're a gear junkie, but you want 24/7 clean, clear, non-smelling water, try Ozone, an ozone generator, dryer. I mean, there's a lot of gear pieces in here that tickles my inner gear junkie, which is something that I would chase it down. But also, I don't have to change my carbon out like every week or every 2 weeks. The Ozone is just there for me.
Pristine, crystal clear water, no odor. The whole thing will be a thing of the past. And it's actually only just a small amount of ozone going into your protein skimmer, or even like a really cheap protein skimmer that you put on the side just to be the reactor. But ozone, one of the end game solutions to pristine water quality. Number 6, just an air filter for the room. Often the ones that have a carbon filter on the sheet of the filter will work, but also if it has an ion button on there, which is ozone. So it will break up those particles in the air and clean up the room. So just an air filter in the room, especially the ones with the ion button, will actually solve the odor as well.
Number 7, if you stir up your sand bed and you see this brown poof come out, that could be a source of the smell of all the decaying matter and food and waste that's in the sand bed. The solution is to vacuum it occasionally, sometimes not at all if you have a bare bottom, because this isn't your problem. But the sand bed does hold a lot of the detritus, the broken down foods, big source of the nasty stink.
If you're wondering if that's true, go to the corner of your tank that gets the least flow, scoop out a cup of the sand, and give it a whiff. You'll know for sure this is a contributing factor. Number 8, consider changing out your food. Some of them absolutely stink more than other ones, but most importantly, if it's large and takes a long time to break down, it's probably part of that rotting pet store smell that's in the tank as well. So consider your food, and changing it might be the solution.
Number 9, on top of that, you can control your feeding instead of just broadcast feeding some pellet food and hoping your fish catch it, or broadcast feeding some mysis shrimp and hoping that they catch it. Utilize tools like feeding rings and these different feeding clips, and actually even feed modes on your return pumps or your power heads, where it slows everything down. It gives the fish more of a chance to get that free floating food, and then your less food going into the tank for waste means less waste smell.
So all that smell, a lot of it anyway, is from that rotting organic matter. So if I put half the stink in, half the stink will come out. Number 10, consider the location of your tank's fart machine being that skimmer. If it's underneath the stand, you would think it might smell, but actually it's just recirculating a lot of the air and it's kind of trapped under there. A little bit might leak out, but if you have like a fish room and you have your external skimmer, don't be surprised when it fills up the entire room with that smell, in which case solutions like the carbon on the lid being some of the best options. All right, so the question that we didn't answer is, what if your skimmer doesn't produce that fart smell? What's going wrong with it? We actually have a problem solvers right here on protein skimmers.
And carbon mistakes. We've done more than 20 of them, but we've got our top 20 you can find right here.